What a do, skibbity boo, it's your boy Shawnee B Gaming, and today we're going to be taking a look at the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles patch, or 7.11, coming out on November 3rd. I'm very excited about this patch. The last time they did a Nickelodeon crossover, I feel like Smite reached new player limits, meaning that we had more players playing Smite than ever before. I think it also brings a lot of new people into the game, which I think is just overall healthy for the game. So we're going to be taking a look at some of the god changes, the item changes, taking a look at the skins, and then taking a look at some of the quality of life and bug fixes. I think this is going to be the last major round of changes before the Smite Worlds in January. I will be releasing updated guides for all of the new characters getting skins, so make sure you subscribe so you don't miss a video. So let's go ahead and just jump right into it. Starting off with the item changes, the first item to be changed is the magic shell. Whenever it's upgraded, the block stacks from this item are no longer going to stack with multiple fires of this relic. It should be noted that the shield from this relic never stacked and will continue not to stack. So I didn't even know this, but apparently if you had 2 upgraded shells, it could potentially go up to 6 block stacks. Now it's going to be capped out at 3 block stacks. Guardian's Blessing increased the magical and physical protections from 5 to 10. So I think this is going to be a pretty big change in the early game. A difference of 5 protections can make a difference whenever you're running out there at level 1. The Staff of Mirrodin decreased cost from 3,000 to 2,800. This item is really cool. I rarely pick it up, but I think it is a cool item, so the fact that they're reducing the price maybe will encourage some people to pick it up a little bit more often. Nox, I'm very excited about this change. Shadow Lock, Nox's 1, now deals damage or pass-through damage on minions. It's going to be on a scale of 50 at level 1, then 190 at level 5, plus 40% power scaling. This ability is now able to hit multiple targets. Its lifesteal multiplier is decreased from 100% to 33%. I really like Nox as a character, but one of her issues is that you have to throw your 2 on the wave, and then the 1 did not deal damage to the minions. So you had the ability to damage minions with your 2 or your 3, and now you're going to be able to deal damage to the minions with your 1. So maybe she'll be picked up a little bit more. Hopefully it'd be cool to see her in a SPL game, especially in the Worlds. Athena, the final basic attack in her hit chain will now cleave. It's a nice little touch. Bacchus, his Chug, now provides Bacchus with a buff of 0 at rank 0, 7 at rank 1, and then 35 magical power at rank 5. Decrease the mana cost. It was on a scale of 40 to 60. Now it's going to be 40 mana at all ranks. Bellona, her Shield Bash, decreased mana cost from 75 to 60. And then for Scourge, decreased mana cost. It was on a scale of 70 to 90. Now it's going to be on a scale of 60 to 80. I feel like Bellona wasn't super mana hungry. I think these are some good changes. She'll be able to use her abilities more often. Chalk, his Torrent, which is his 2, increased physical protection buff duration from 4 seconds to 6 seconds. Hitting a god with Torrent will now provide 2 protection buff stacks. Dodgy, 1000 cuts, which is Dodgy's 2. Adjusted damage, it was on a scale of 15 to 150 per hit. It is now going to be on a scale of 25 to 105 per hit. So it's getting a buff in the early game, which is going to help with the clear of jungle camps. And then it's taking a nerf in the late game, or its final level. It has also increased physical power scaling. It was on 30% per hit. Now it's going to be 35% per hit. Isis, her Wind Gust, increased magical power scaling from 35% to 40% of your magical power per hit. So it hits 4 times, that's a 20% increase. Jormungandr, Submerge, increased knockup height from 300 to 375. So what this means is that they'll be in the air a little bit longer. Shouldn't be too noticeable, but it can make a difference. Decrease the cooldown from 18 seconds to 16 seconds. Medusa, her Acid Spray, increased base damage. It was on a scale of 90 to 270. Now it's going to be on a scale of 90 to 290. So at level 5, it's getting plus 20 damage. This ability already feels really strong. The fact that they're buffing it at level 5 I think is very interesting. She's not picked a whole lot because you can kind of cancel her out of her dash by standing in front of her and just taking the damage. But I think it's interesting that they're adjusting Acid Spray. Mulan, Divine Mastery, decreased the cooldown from 100 seconds at all ranks to 90 seconds at all ranks, so Mulan will be able to ult a little bit more often throughout the game. Neith, her backflip, decreased the mana from 70 at level 1, 110 at level 5. Now it's going to be 60 at level 1 and 80 at level 5. So a pretty big nerf or buff to how much mana it requires for her to backflip in the late game or her level 5. I think Neith is pretty mana hungry, so I think this is a good change. Odin, Gungir's Might, increased pulse damage. It was on a scale of 20 to 100. Now it's going to be on a scale of 25 to 105 per hit, so a small buff of 5 at all levels. I think this is a great change for Terra. Terra now gains Cleave Basics attacks on her entire hit chain when this passive is active. So whenever Terra has a stone standing, she's going to slow and she's also going to cleave. At level 1, Terra has an issue where she does not have the best lane clear, or really helpful lane clear at all. If you put a point into her 2, you can damage usually 3 minions, but you usually need her dash to be able to tag the entire wave. Now that she's going to have a cleave, she should be able to get in there and do some bopping on the minions. Vulcan, Earthshaker, increased damage at close range from 60% to 70% of the maximum damage. So the farther you cast Vulcan's ultimate, it can scale up to 100% damage. They're bringing the floor a little bit higher from 60% to 75%. Xbalanque, raising Jaguar, increased physical power scaling from 30% to 50%. So that's a pretty big buff of a 20% power scaling. I do feel like Xbalanque has kind of fallen out of the meta a little bit. Hopefully this change will bring him more in line with some of the other characters. Zhong Kui, Book of Demons, increased base damage. It was on a scale of 60 to 280. Now it's going to be on a scale of 80 to 300. Recall Demons, increased magical power scaling from 20% to 25% per tick. Hits a total of 5 times, so it's going to be a 100% to 125% for all the ticks. And then the post-PTS balance changes and bug fixes. The Relic, Shield of Thorns, and upgrade. This relic can no longer be activated while under the effects of crowd control. I'm assuming they mean hard crowd control, like if you're slowed you should still be able to pop it. I hope that's what they mean. Bug fixes. Many of the healing items had descriptions adjusted to be more consistent. Items and abilities that affect all forms of healing, as stated in the patch notes, should read increased or reduced healing by X%. Items/abilities that affect only specific forms of healing will be stated directly in the text. For example, Cerberus passive, Spirit of Death, does not steal HP 5, although it does reduce it. Cursed Ankh upgrade, debuff only applies to enemy gods healed by abilities, although healing reduction applies to all types. Fix an issue where the order minions could take unintended pathing when trying to attack the Chaos Titan. Then the new game mode that they're adding in this patch, Celestial Domination, or I guess the returning game mode, is increase the movement speed bonus that speed buff provides from 5% to 15%. Updated all camps to use the Conquest style buffs for faster pickup. Added minimap pre-times to buff camps. Fixed a few areas around the capture points where collision extended beyond the environmental art. And then for other, the SK Gaming Merlin has had more SK logos added to the spell effects. Up next, we're going to be taking a look at the skins. Taking a look at the skins coming in the 7.11 patch, we have the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles crossover, and I absolutely love these Nickelodeon crossovers. Please vote for SpongeBob next. So the first skin that we're going to be getting is the Leonardo Osiris. Then we have the Raphael Loki, the Michelangelo Mercury, and the Donatello Sung Wukong. I think all of these look pretty good, although I do feel like I have a bit of a bias to the Radical skins. I feel like they're just more colorful, and they kind of just remind me of my childhood a little bit more. So we have the Radical Leonardo Osiris, the Radical Raphael Loki, the Radical Michelangelo Mercury, and the Radical Donatello Song Wukong. Then we're going to have the Splinter Hachiman, which is going to be exclusive in the Radical chest or for direct purchase, I believe. And then we're also going to have the Shredder Ravana. Then outside of the Battle Pass, we're going to have Paintballer Jing, which is going to be exclusive to the Odyssey event. The Shadow Howler Batz, which is also going to be exclusive to the Odyssey event. Then we have the Valiant Huntress Artemis, the Sunken Sorcerer Poseidon. The Artemis skin is going to be exclusive to the Viewer Store. The Poseidon skin is going to be exclusive to the Odyssey event. Then we have the Techno Titan Hercules, which is going to be an Odyssey skin. The Raven King Chernobog, which is also going to be an Odyssey skin. Then we have some digital loot pack skins. The Steel Alchemist Scylla is going to be digital loot pack. The SK Gaming Merlin is going to be a digital loot pack. And if you're wondering why SK Gaming is getting the skins, because they won Worlds last year. Each year, Hi-Rez will release a digital loot pack on a kind of iconic character for that team in the following year. Then we have the Sir Sandington set, which looks absolutely fantastic. And then the Season 7 Cthulhu, which is also going to be exclusive to the digital loot pack. That's going to be it for the skins. Now we're just going to cover some of the extra content available in this patch. The last thing we're going to be covering is the quality of life. So Celestial Domination is going to be the exclusive mode that is happening during this patch. Teams with only one capture point will now continue to deduct tickets from the enemy team, although at a lesser rate than owning 2 or more points. Decrease the overall sources of XP on the map as players were far out-leveling their item builds. Decreased recharge time after a Jin is killed from 30 seconds to 5 seconds. For the early surrender, in games where early surrender is used, the players who triggered the early surrender by DCing will be given a deserter penalty. Healing percent effects. This is kind of important. All abilities and items that apply healing percent changes for increasing or decreasing healing will now affect all forms of healing. Lifesteal, ability healing, item heals, relic heals, potions, HP 5, and jungle buffs. Updated menu descriptions for better clarity and consistency. So I'll just kind of leave this here for a second, let you guys pause it if you're interested. Clarified a type of CC in Smite Vortex, defined by a gradual dragging effect on gods that pull them towards a source location. So the Poseidon Whirlpool, the Hades Pillar of Agony, Baron Life of the Party, and Susanoo's Typhoon. Bug fixes. I love these always make me laugh. UI, Odyssey points will now show up in Players Notification and Acquisitions UI. Fixed a sorting issue for players on ranked leaderboards for Masters and Grandmasters. Fixed an issue where some quests were missing text. For gods, Cthulhu fixed an issue where Cthulhu could not be rented. Susanoo fixed an issue where Serrated Edge would not trigger when Susanoo's Storm Katana was on cooldown. Dodgy fixed an issue where Dodgy would teleport high into the air when targeting an Ultimate State Cthulhu with her ability 3, Trickster's Spirit. That's funny. So would she stay up there or would she come back down? I don't know. I wish I could test it out before they fixed it. Heimdall fixed an issue where enemies recently revived by Khepri Ultimate could get stuck when being hit by Heimdall's ult. That's a good one. Khepri fixed an issue where enemies recently revived by Khepri Ultimate could get stuck when being hit by Heimdall ult. Loki fixed an issue where buying and using Erendite could break the visual effects of Loki's stealth. Fixed an issue where Loki's diamond and legendary skin card art would not show properly on certain screens. Ares fixed an issue where the god card for the tier 5 skin would not show properly on certain screens. Ratatasker fixed an issue where Acorn's glow FX would sometimes persist at Ratatasker's death locations. Fixed an issue where using the undo button in the shop could remove Ratatasker's Acorn's visual FX. Thor fixed an issue where Thor could sometimes be pulled by abilities even when outside the area if he had recently teleported with his hammer. Set fixed an issue where Set could sometimes be pulled by abilities even when outside the area if he had recently been teleported to his sand clones. King Arthur fixed an issue where if Arthur changes stances while crippled, his abilities affected by cripple would not show. Baba Yaga fixed an issue where the first throw of her ultimate at all ranks was not properly synced with the animation. Fixed an issue where ranks 1 through 4 of her ultimate had slightly delay on each fire that was not intended. Blobkiss Bacchus fixed an issue where taunts and jokes weren't playing when tipsy or drunk. Kukulin fixed an issue where his Berserk ability 1 could have hit the area and visual effects desync if rotating while firing it. Jinwei fixed an issue where Persistent Gust deployable would be destroyed if Jinwei was CC'd shortly after it was fired. This fix already went live in the Trickster God update. The Morgan fixed an issue where her clone spawned from ability 3 would look like it was providing enemies with a stack of Ethereal Staff, even though it did not provide the stack. Fixed an issue where the Morgan would not be hit in certain AoE effects when exiting her ultimate state within an area. Fixed an issue where the Morgan ultimate was giving unintended extra stacks of Charon's coin. Items charged bow. Now shows stacks to indicate when its passive will trigger, like Odysseus' bow. Potion of Power fixed an issue where this item's visual effects would not reply on stance changes every time they change stance. Sledged fixed an issue with the text that still referenced Masamune. Rod of Healing fixed an issue where the passive was providing more healing than intended. And Silver Branch Bow fixed an issue where players with this item would lose attack speed of stacks when hit by an attack speed slows. Players with stacks from Silver Branch Bow will now lose stacks from attack speed slows first, then actual attack speed if the slow outweighs the overcap stacks. And that is going to be the end of this patch note video. If you enjoyed the video, make sure you give it a thumbs up. That really helps it out. I'm interested in hearing what your favorite Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle is. Me personally, I'm a huge fan of Donatello. I really like the stick fighting style. Kind of always stuck out to me as a kid. Leave me a comment, let me know which turtle is your favorite, and if you're going to be getting the Battle Pass. Really like these Nickelodeon crossovers. Well, thank you for stopping by. I hope you have a great day. I'll catch you next time. Bye-bye.